people getting together and talking about real estate, I thought I'll go and just basically ask a question that I had for my real estate business in Brazil. Lo and behold, I found that there were many things that I didn't even know that I didn't know.
All right, welcome to Real Estate Hustlers Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Appleman, founder and CEO of Appleman Capital. Today we're joined with Luis Salavarria. Luis is a real estate investor with 18 years of experience, owns around $2.5 million in assets. He educates on real estate via podcasts and webinars. He authored the book, Lives in Houston, enjoys movies, travel, and photography. Luis, we appreciate you coming on the show today. If you could, let the listeners know a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, thank you for having me here. Yeah, so as you said, I've been a real estate investor for the past 18 years. I actually started my investing journey in Brazil. I was living in Brazil before I came to the US. And I was there with my wife. She had a work assignment. And I decided that that was going to be I guess, my launch pad for the real estate investing that I wanted to do. I first read Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, before going to Brazil. And I always, wanted to do something as he was doing, right? Or as he was actually portraying in the book. So I found that this was a good opportunity to do that. And I bought a piece of land, uh, built 5 houses, sold them, and I got basically, hooked to real estate by doing that.
Yeah, that's a great path, great story, great beginning. Tell us about your first deal, how you found it, how you acquired it, and then how you ran and managed it.
So that first deal that I did back in Brazil, that was interesting, of course, because I'm actually from Venezuela. I actually speak Spanish. I didn't know any Portuguese at the time before going there, and but I think the universe, I guess, speaks to you when you're trying to do and you were trying to take action. So I said, I'm going to do this. I don't know how, but I'm going to do this. And I went ahead and started like learning Portuguese. And at the same time, I was looking for people that would know how to buy a piece of land in Brazil. And this was, of course, easier said than done, but I managed to do it. I found a contractor. I found a teacher, of course, a Portuguese teacher as well. And I found this piece of land. It was close to the beach, about 3 blocks, from the beach. And I just went ahead and just basically immerse myself, and in the culture, in the language, and in real estate as well. So that's how I became a real estate investor, but also in the process I was learning, right? So that's one thing that I can tell you is just you have to learn, you have to read, you have to know more about the subject. I didn't know anything about the subject except what Kiyosaki said in his book: just be a real estate investor. He doesn't really explain how to do that, so I had to learn from scratch. Basically, I had to find people, I had to find the team, I had to uh, you know buy the materials. I didn't know where to buy them. I didn't know how much they cost. I didn't know if that was a right price. I didn't know anything. So I had to really like learn everything from scratch, and the learning curve was really really steep at the beginning.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're a first generation real estate investor, correct?
Yes, I am.
So first generation, anything is going to be cutting their teeth along the way, and they're going to be making mistakes, costly mistakes at times potentially, but ultimately the the goal is to make sure that um, our kids can propel from our mistakes and ultimately not make the same mistakes twice. And that's where your second generation real estate investors come in, because they're learning from generation over generation, and it becomes easier, better, and they're supposed to do it faster and with less effort. And that's where we can guide each other. But I love that, because being first generation, you have to go get mentorship. You have to get in the room. You have to learn from others, and hopefully those others are have your best interest in mind, because there are people in any industry that look for their selves out there to basically live off of your successes. Tell us about some struggles you've come across as far as trying to connect the dots on real estate and learning about how to invest.
Sure, sure. But before I go into that question, I wanted to say something about first generation, second generation, because investors, because you reminded me of my son. I have three children, but the oldest one, he's of course trying to follow into my steps. So what you're saying is totally true. I mean, he's looking to me as the mentor that he wants to be, and that puts a lot of pressure on you as well. I mean, you're at the beginning, you're put under a lot of pressure because you have to succeed for your family and your wife, or your partner, or whoever wants to invest with you, your investors as well. But also now it's like, people that want to follow your steps, like your children, they want to know what you're doing so they can do it faster and better, and you're there to show them as well. But anyway, that was kind of the parenthesis that I
Yeah.
wanted to make on that. So yeah, so a challenge that I found would be, I guess, well, the first one being in Brazil, of course, was the language, um, but also finding how to navigate the waters of bureaucracy and like permits and ministries and stuff like that. I didn't know how to navigate that at the beginning. I had to become a master in that as well. Now, since I moved to the US, which was like 12 years ago, I found that the challenges are different here. The sky is the limit. Yeah, pretty much I see it like that now. The challenge that I found myself in right now is just what I can think of. This is a challenge right here.
Yeah.
My head. If you can get out of your head, pretty much you're gonna get whatever you want to get. you know um Challenge, like technical challenge, I can tell you thousands, many, right? But the most difficult thing that you have to overcome is yourself. And I don't know if this is like a mindset type of podcast or not, but this one is going to be the real key for you to succeed. It has to be your mentality, what you feed yourself, what you feed your mind. you know and I had to learn a lot, because at the beginning I thought that the rules were the same for real estate being in Brazil or being here in the US, and they weren't. You have some rules that are the same, but a lot of them, they're different. You can do more here than in Brazil. That's what I'm getting at right now. Uh, you have the possibility of having investors here. You have infrastructure to have those investors invest with you, and you have different types of deals. You have multifamily deals, which is kind of what I'm investing on right now, and you have residential deals. You have commercial deals. You have every type of deal. And basically, if you're here in the US, you can find the infrastructure and the legal and the CPAs and all the advice that you want. It's available for you to take. All you have to do is do your research and find the right people. Basically find the right team.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. And having the opportunity, well, that's kind of like going where the people are in multifamily and rentals. You don't want to go into an area where population is leaving. Kind of like United States, you have more opportunity to invest. If you stayed in Brazil, your opportunity to succeed comes far less. It sounds like, versus just going where the business permits you to succeed at, just like being here. Um, yeah, I like that. That is just getting in the right place, right room, and in order to be successful. Um, and as far as getting out of your own head, there's a principle that I live by. It's if I don't know the next five moves, then I need to get around somebody who does, because I
Mhm.
become the biggest liability in the room if I don't know the path forward. And I think that's one of the bigger challenges, because your head kind of tells you to stay away from something that you're not comfortable with. And it's kind of like a survivor technique,
Mhm.
where now you know that if you don't know the next five moves, you need to educate yourself, get around to people that do, and your head keeps growing. So don't bite off something bigger than your head and get around the right people. A lot of people don't know where to go to find the information. Can you kind of elaborate on where you went and how you blazed your own trail?
Sure, sure. So what I did at the beginning was I went to RIAs, like real estate associations, um, just because I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know that they existed. Right? Uh, there is no such a thing in Brazil, for example. So when I came here to the U.S. and I found that there were these meetings and people getting together and talking about real estate, I thought I'll go and just basically ask a question that I had for my real estate business in Brazil. Lo and behold, I found that there were many things that I didn't even know that I didn't know, uh, because that's what you find when you get out there. You get to know the stuff that you think that you don't know, and you know that you don't know. But what's most important is what you find out is stuff that you don't even know that you don't know, and that's a whole universe of stuff. So that would be the first thing, would be to go out there and find real estate investing in multifamily deals, or in storage, or how to fix and flip, if you're talking about your residential investing. So you can find all these different groups online, like on Eventbrite or meetup.com and stuff like that. You can actually find those people there, and I would advise you to go there. If you're listening, go there. uh, as a person just to who wants to just find information. Don't have any expectations, just go there and see what you get. And you're gonna learn a lot just by doing that. That will be the first step.
Yeah.
That will be my first step.
Yeah, I like what you mentioning. You don't know. Essentially, listening to books twice, it might connect a different dot that you didn't know was relevant before. So you don't know what you don't know, but things become more relevant as you learn, and you can level up your knowledge on different things as well. So if you go back and re-listen to things or re-educate yourself, you might learn different strategies and different things that become now relevant to maybe a future deal. Um, you're also an LP on quite a few units, I think in the 400 range. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's
So,
correct. Yes.
can you tell us your role as limited partnership, how you found the opportunity to join those deals, and then what that experience has been like?
Sure. So I um I wanted to first know about commercial real estate back in 2019, right? And I found a group here in Houston. I'm in Houston, Texas, and I found a group here that did that. So I went ahead and basically saw what they were doing. And I started learning about the terms, cap rates and ROIs, IRRs and stuff like that. And then at the same time, I was looking for my own deal, um, but I also wanted to be part of something bigger. So I've always been involved in residential real estate. So at the time, we had 29 units of our own, and these basically were uh, single family houses, duplexes, triplexes, uh, you know, short term rentals, long term rentals, all over the place, basically, here in Houston, right? Geographically. And then I said to my wife, maybe we should invest in something bigger so we get the opportunity to know what that means. So we invested in a property in Florida that has more than 400 apartments. So that's my experience on that, being an LP. An LP is basically a limited partner, and this is a person that doesn't really, you know, uh, uh, um, take a lot of decisions, or any decisions actually, by that matter, where the investing money is gonna go, or what's gonna happen to the property, or anything like that. So we're just passive investors in that regard. Now, I wanted to see, being an investor, I wanted to have more say and be in control of my units. So as I said, during that time, I went ahead and bought my first multifamily deal on my own. I found the LPs, basically the other investors. I found the attorneys. I wanted to do the contracts and the PPMs, and all of the stuff that you need to actually find the deal and close the deal when you're buying a multifamily deal.
On the assets that you all are buying and holding, are you partnering up with others on those, or are you solely the sole owner?
For which ones? For the
The
residential ones, or which ones?
Well, I guess your personal portfolio. Are you
Oh, okay.
partnering, or are
Yeah,
you?
yeah. So yeah, I do have outside investors for that too. So in fact, actually, that's one of the reasons um, to go bigger. You know, I had been investing in some things that were duplexes and triplexes, basically a couple of units in one property, and but I realized that, of course, it's kind of the same amount of work that you have to put in to buy one unit than two units, right? And then I thought, okay, if it's the same, why not buy four units instead of four, instead of two, but if I buy four, why not 10 instead of four? So that's really how the wheels got turning. And at the same time, I had people, my friends, who work, they have W2 jobs, they work, in corporate America, and they wanted to do what I was doing without doing what I was doing. They wanted to invest, they wanted the returns, but they didn't actually want to go to the RIAs and, like, meet new people and do this, do that, know about the terms. They don't want to know that. They want to be investors, but they don't necessarily want to go ahead and do what I did, which is what I love. I mean, I love what I'm doing, but that doesn't mean that a lot of people want to do that. So that gave me also another avenue, a platform, as it were, for them to invest with me in my deals. So it sort of came into my lap. It fell into my lap. All these guys that wanted to invest, and they're still talking to me like, what's your next venture? What's your next property? So we can invest with you. So it's funny, but that's how it worked. So I do have people invested with me right now. Yes.
Are you all using third-party property management, or are you all self-managing those?
No, we are using third party management
Got
for
it.
the bigger one. Yeah, for the multifamily ones. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that works, and even getting into the property management side, you get a different level of an experience, become stronger as an operator, just seeing different struggles and challenges, and then
Yeah.
overcoming those with different solutions as well. Um, but
Yeah.
it's all about scaling too, because going in and managing, you might have slower growth, but you become more vertically integrated. So there's positives and negatives to each side. You're in the weeds on one end and out there forging down the trail, finding new acquisitions full time on another end. So
No, and I
uh,
agree with you. I mean, you have to have that experience. We did have that experience at the beginning, hearing other investors having only the third party management. I said to myself, let's just go ahead and do that. Just hire a company and do that, right? But of course, having that, just a third party management team, and not having that experience yourself, kind of limits you in a way, that because you don't really know what to ask them, you don't really know what to expect from them, you don't really know how to coach them so that they shine.
yeah,
So we had to become that, and this is all the process, right, that we went through, right? So we had to become the managers ourselves together with them. So we would have to be like on top of them, or alongside them, all the time, just to see what they needed and what they were expecting. So we would know as well ahead of time and tell them, or tell whoever was going to come after them, what they needed to do. So right now we're in a position to say to the property management, okay, you need to do this and that, because we've done it ourselves. So you're totally right. I mean, you have to have. It's not that you have to, but it's better if you do.
for sure. Especially in my opinion, if you're responsible for other people's money and the property's performance is at stake, I think that level of experience is needed. It's almost critical because if something does happen or the things don't go like they need to, you can step in and get the ship back in the right direction at a moment's notice versus being solely dependent on someone else to perform for you to perform. So it's another moat around your business as far as keeping away. I'm going to say the competition because there are competitors that don't have any experience with property management, but it's another skill set that just makes you more. I'm going to say valued in different aspects. But uh, what what's the future look like for you? How far do you want to go, and how big does your portfolio look?
You know what? As I said to you before, the sky is the limit, right? When you want to dream big. And I think, in my regard, what I'm looking for is to have or to be invested in 1,000 units by the end of this year, and then 2,000 units by the end of next year. I mean, more, right? So it's going to be 3,000 in total. So that's the idea, just to be like multiplying not only like linearly, but like, exponentially, right? So my idea is to get to 10,000 units in about 5 years. That's the idea.
It's a target. A ship takes off
Yes.
out of
Yep.
port with a target, so that's good. There's going to be a whole new set of challenges every time you meet a different level, a different mark,
Yep.
and then that's another challenge to overcome and just makes you stronger. We started implementing EOS system over here, which you rely on your 10-year target and then your 3 year, and then breaking that down with different metrics. So it definitely gives you a lot of clarity, a lot
Hmm.
of things that are now becoming more tangible just by breaking it down. And we've always set targets, but just this whole system is a lot more. I want to say tangible because now you're getting the entire team involved in the targets, not just your
Sure.
personal goals and ambitions. So it's exciting seeing that come to fruition.
You touched on a point that I wanted to, because it reminded me of something that I wanted to tell you and also for your audience. You said clarity, right? There is a book called Clarity by Jamie Smart. And this book really, really made me think about what you're saying right now.
Yeah,
About, it's not time management, it's actually like goal management. I mean, you want to get to your goals, and if it's a big goal, you're going to realize that you need time and resources to get to that goal, right? And in order to do that, you have to weed out all the stuff that is taking your time that doesn't bring you ROI. you know
yeah,
so all of those nights you were spending, watching TV, watching the next Netflix series or whatever, that's going to be gone just after you read this book or you listen to it. Clarity by Jamie Smart. Really, really good book.
that's good. I hope the listeners can. And I do Audible, so anywhere I go, it's Audible, just trying to ingest as much knowledge as possible. And I mean, listening it to two times, three times, four times, but depending on the book, it's just the more you can ingest the knowledge, the faster you can propel yourself to your goal. But getting clarity around something where it's not just in your head, it's actually on paper or in front of you on a screen. Uh, it makes it tangible. It makes it real in a sense, and might even want to put that on your mirror getting ready in the morning. But it works
100%.
for
Yep.
sure. What is it? And then a couple more questions here. What asset classes are you all looking for? Is it value add? Is it core? Deep value add?
Value add would be, I guess, a better definition of what we're looking for right now. That would be the criteria that we're looking for. Um, the ones that I'm investing in right now have been value add, not deep value add, but value add. Um, Closer to deeper value add in the terms of that, like, these properties are older, like in the 70s. So these are like C-class properties. And when you do that, I realized that you have a lot more kind of worms, you know hidden here and there. So we found, drainage issues that we have to fix, that weren't there before, or that we didn't know that were there. So we've realized that we kind of sort of avoid those problems if we invest in a different class, asset, basically. Basically, an asset class like a B minus type of stuff, built something built in the last 20 years maximum. That will be kind of what we're looking for right now.
Yeah, it's those are extremely tough to come by. At least the great deals, but everything. The longer you hold real estate, the better the opportunity becomes because your cost basis goes down, your value add increases. So uh, the 1970s and 80s vintage, it's you can add a ton of value to those properties if they're done right, if they're in the right area, and
Yep.
uh, and you're great at executing on the business plan for sure. Um,
But also, Josh, let me add something also to that point, right? Um, yeah, those deals usually are harder to come by, but right now, 2024 and 2025, we're going to have a flood of properties coming into the market. I'm seeing it right now. I started seeing it since like December. Um, a lot of people have problems, with mortgages resetting because of the interest rates that we've had, right, in the past few months. So all of these properties are going to come live for you to take. So we have to be in a position right now to get these properties, right? So if you are an investor and you're looking to invest actively, not passively, but actively, then you need to be making offers every single day, right? That's one thing. And if you are just an investor, if you're listening to us and you're just an investor who has a W2 job, get with your, person, like in this case, me or Josh, get in touch with us because we have deals. Oh, and we are going to have more deals as time passes, so that would be the recommendation because there will be a lot of deals coming live, and these are going to be good opportunities.
Yeah, the basis is certainly dropping, and I'd say the seller sentiments are still a little high. But if you make an offer and you get within, say, a counter back, well, now you're circling the wagons because it starts with negotiations, and then start your due diligence process, and then see if you need to readjust to make it make sense. But interest rates are high, which equals the buy price needs to come down to make sure your cost basis makes sense on your leverage. But uh, if your business plan is to refinance within 3 to 5 years, hoping that or predicting and projecting interest rates to come down, maybe you can make it work, and then you can add a ton of value within the next 3 to 5 years to what we have. We know the cost basis is down at least 20% in a lot of markets of what
Yep.
it was, and we know that the cost basis is going to go up. So there's an opportunity. It's a short window right now, very short window. I think it's going to boil down to capacity, what an operator or a group can actually take down to manage effectively and professionally. And because just because the grab is out there to get doesn't mean that you can ingest all of that and operate at the same caliber. There's a balance. There's acquisitions and there's operations. If you keep that balance going, you can make it's a long term deal. You want to stay around as long as possible. Uh, but the opportunities are there. It's exciting times for sure.
True,
Uh,
but also, Josh, to that point, we also need to be looking to grow. We also be looking to partner with other people, with other groups. That's one thing that you have to bear in mind all the time. That's one thing that if you do that, then you're going to be able to grow faster. Because you don't have to have all the experience, you don't have to have all the investors for you to invest with you if you know who to partner with for specific properties, or specific, geographical, locations.
Yeah, 100%. Partnerships can propel your career so fast in real estate. And they should be partners that are help pulling you up as well. Not necessarily, you shouldn't be pushing your partners up. They should be pulling you up. And I say that because
Mm.
ultimately you want to partner with somebody better than you in a sense. And they bring a unique skill set that can help your organization, help whether it's asset management, property management, operations, whatever it may be. Your partners that you decide to bring on should pull you up and enhance what you currently have. So it's important to make sure you have an alignment of interest and everyone's there that are truly taking a stake at it for sure. Um,
True.
any last nuggets to give away to the listeners here?
Well, I was listening. I was actually reading some of the questions that people are asked on your podcast, and I saw one that it made me think. what tool am I using right now that may be of interest for your listeners. And I thought hard, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna look for a tool that I'm using right now, and one of them is a video tool that I'm using. It's just basically to do the short videos that you see online. You do this, you do that, and like if you have a podcast, or if you have a show, or if you are actually doing real estate actively, and you're going to the properties and stuff like that, and you're recording yourself, this may be a tool that works for you. you know and so I can give you the link. It's my name, luissalavarria.com/video tool. It's Opus, basically, called it's that's what's the name of the tool. But if you go there, you don't have to write down anything. You just go to luissalavarria.com/video tool, and you will see it there.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm using right now.
Oh, that's great because ultimately in real estate you have to get the word out that you're doing real estate because your deal could come from somebody who just comes across your post. So it's just pumping it out, letting people know what you do, and using a video tool like the one that you had mentioned can help enhance your content, and absolutely, for sure, very cool. Um, if you could provide listeners with some contact information to get a hold of you if they want to learn more about yourself and your company.
Yeah, of course. So you can go to luissalavarria.com/links, and you're gonna see everything about me there. You can contact me, through LinkedIn or Facebook, or you can also watch my YouTube channel there. So go to luissalavarria.com/links, and you're gonna see me there.
All right, Lewis, I definitely look forward to talking soon. I like following you, seeing what you're up to, and we'll certainly talk soon. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye.